Good afternoon to you. I am Brady Borrell coming to you from Morgan City for KQKI News as the procession for late volunteer firefighter Joshua Francois is now underway from Sacred Heart Church. 28-year-old Joshua Francois, a resident of Berwick and native of Morgan City, passed away on Monday, March 2nd at Oxnard St. Mary at 8:59 p.m. Of course, services were held at noon at Sacred Heart Church here in Morgan City for volunteer firefighter Joshua Francois. Memories of Joshua, or Josh as he was known to many, will forever remain in the hearts of his wife, Christy Francois. Two children, Sophia and Elijah, all of Berwick, his parents, Carlos Francois, and Gary Cheney Sr. of Houston, Texas. Two sisters, two brothers, and of course, our thoughts and prayers go out to the family, friends, and first responders, fellow first responders of Joshua Francois. We can actually see the procession beginning to make its way up Brasher Avenue. The procession, if you would like to view it, it is making its way up Federal Avenue to Brasher Avenue, then here to 7th Street where we are stationed. Then we'll proceed down Marguerite Street to Victor II Boulevard to Myrtle Street, and then on to the Morgan City Cemetery. We know that the Morgan City Fire Department has a large flag that is flying over Victor II Boulevard, and then by the cemetery, the Franklin Fire Department has another large flag that is flying over Myrtle Street. Again, Joshua Francois, he was a member of the Berwick, Bayou Vista, and Patterson volunteer fire departments. He began as a junior firefighter for the Berwick Volunteer Fire Department as a teenager, and continued on into his adult years as a volunteer fire department for several local fire departments. Large contingency of first responders who have come out today to honor Joshua Francois from many local fire departments, agencies, into Terrebonne Parish, I believe into Lafourche Parish, coming out to pay their respects and honor their local firefighter who passed away on Monday, March 2nd. We can see the procession. It is a very long procession of fire trucks, ambulance units, police units. We are waiting for them to make their way up Brasher Avenue. We do see the beginning of it. It's about 2 blocks away from us right now, near 4th or 5th Street. So just bear with us. We're just waiting right now. Please be careful. If you are traveling through Morgan City right now, they are going to block off several intersections to make way for the procession that will make its way. Again, that route is Federal Avenue to Brasher Avenue. They will make a left onto 7th Street, right onto Marguerite, then right on Victor II, then right on Myrtle Street, and then finally they will end at the Morgan City Cemetery, where firefighter Joshua Francois will be laid to rest with full firefighter honors. We understand that there is a train that is blocking part of the procession, so please bear with us. That is why the procession is blocked. Thank you, everyone, for that update. So bear with us. We are just we can see part of the procession that is currently at the corner of 4th and Brasher Avenue at this time, and they're just waiting for the rest of the procession to catch up due to that train blocking right there by Sacred Heart Church. So please just be patient, and they will proceed with the rest of the procession. Again, if you're just joining us, a volunteer firefighter Joshua Francois, 28 years old, of Berwick, a native of Morgan City, passed away on Monday, March 2nd at Oxnard St. Mary at 8:59 p.m. Again, he was known as Josh to many. He was survived by his wife Christy Francois, two children, Sophia and Elijah of Berwick, his parents Carlos and Gary Carlos of Morgan City, Gary of Houston, Texas. Two sisters, Helen and Shalita, two brothers, Gary Cheney Jr. and Brandon Johnson of Houston. Services began at noon at Sacred Heart Church. Standing room only. As a matter of fact, there were many that were standing outside. The church was filled to capacity. Large contingency, of course, of first responders. I believe at least 10 agencies from Terrebonne all the way through St. Mary Parish are participating in the procession today. Many fire trucks lined up Federal Avenue, waiting to line up to participate in today's procession. We do know there is a fire truck just to my right that will be pulling up to block traffic at 7th and Brashear. And from what we can see, it does appear that the procession is rolling again. Again, that procession, if you would like to pay your respects, it began at Sacred Heart Church, proceeds up Federal Avenue, then to Brashear Avenue, 7th Street, Marguerite, Victor II Boulevard, then to Myrtle Street, and finally ending at the Morgan City Cemetery. The procession is now making its way towards us, and the Morgan City fire truck is going to block off traffic along with the Morgan City Police Department, and you can see the procession is beginning to make its way towards us now. His casket is being carried, looks like, on the very old fire truck, Berwick's probably original, one of the original fire trucks belonging to the Berwick Volunteer Fire Department. Of course, our thoughts and prayers go out to fallen firefighter Joshua Francois, known to Josh to many. His flag draped casket was being carried on the fire truck, one of the original fire trucks, I believe, to the Berwick Volunteer Fire Department. It's been around for a very long time, escorted by many local firefighters, police officers, EMS personnel. And from all of us at KQKI, our thoughts and prayers go out to his family, friends, and fellow first responders. You'll see many local agencies. We've seen West Terrebonne, Berwick, Bayou Vista, Patterson. We'll try to name them as we see them. Patterson Police Department, the St. Mary Parish Sheriff's Office, Berwick Police, Acadian Ambulance. Morgan City Fire Department, Amelia Fire Department. Again, a flag flying high over Victor II Boulevard in front of the Morgan City Fire Station. Another large flag currently flying over Myrtle Street, just across the street from the Morgan City Cemetery. We also want to give credit to, I believe it is the Chack Bay Fire Department, if I'm not mistaken. They are currently handling fire calls for the area agencies, while the local agencies are here honoring their fellow firefighter, Joshua Francois. So we want to thank Chack Bay Fire Department for helping out with our giving mutual aid, handling the local fire calls as their fellow firefighters are honoring their fellow comrade. Standing room only. The Sacred Heart Church was filled to capacity. Very large, long procession of course, his family and friends and fellow first responders. Heartbreaking day in our community, in our entire parish, and among those of the first responders community. We now see Franklin Fire Department making its way towards us. Of course, a very solemn occasion when these happen. Unfortunately, they do. We don't like for them to happen, but when they do, we want to honor them the best we can. A lot of volunteer first responders also part of the procession in their private vehicles. Probably one of the longest processions of a funeral I have seen in a very long time. Not only just the first responders, but of course, his family and friends also taking part in this procession. Uh, it was very tight parking for several blocks around Sacred Heart Church, as of course first responders and those come out to mourn the loss of Joshua Francois. And it does appear that the end is crossing 6th Street. For now, of course, the procession winding its way through the city began at Sacred Heart Church, came down Federal, Brashear 7th, on to Marguerite Street, to Victor 2 Boulevard, to Myrtle Street, and finally to the Morgan City Cemetery, where it was going to end, and Joshua Francois was going to be laid to rest. Again, from all of us at KQKI, our thoughts and prayers go out to the family of Captain Joshua Lee Francois, 28 years old, of a resident of Berwick, a native of Morgan City, passed away on Monday, March 2nd at Oxnard St. Mary. at 8:59 p.m. Our thoughts and prayers go out to his family and friends, his fellow first responders. We ask that you please do the same. And of course, this has been special coverage on KQKI News on the KQKI Digital Video Network. I'm Brady Burrell. Thank you for joining us, and have a great weekend.